So today our focus in that home is on Anapanasati, considering that we have done extremely well in terms of the Sila and Indriya Sambara, and some of them are able to get into first jhana. So today's objective is to get into second jhana. Okay. So we are going to take Anapanasati. That's a sutta what we are going to be doing in that 8 parts, the first 8 parts, because that helps in getting there. So basically, before I go there, if I am starting now, let's say I'm in my past jhana, that is vitakka vicara, savitakka savichara, meaning to say that I have come out of the worldly things and then I am ready to embark the journey onto the second jhana. So before I enter into second jhana, I need to do some preparation. Otherwise, what's going to happen is it will make me enter into second jhana, but it doesn't stay. It drops off. Okay, and then it comes back to first jhana. If the first jhana is broken, it will go back to kama. So before we begin, we need to split the time frame. It's like this: 18 hours of waking, 6 hours of sleep, 24 hours, or 16 hours of waking and 8 hours of sleep, or 14 and 10, 14 hours of waking and 10 hours of sleep. So I need to know the udaya is from the time I woken up for next 14 hours or 16 hours or 18 hours, and the attangamo is from the time I sleep. So basically, if I sleep in the morning, if I sleep in the afternoon, it means I have wasted my time. Okay. So I shouldn't take breaks because every moment counts. I need to make that. So, first step to enter into second jhana is a time frame. I have 18 hours and 6 hours for sleeping. Considering I have some device like Apple Watch or Garmin or whatever, which is keeping track of my health, and then it shows an average sleeping time. Like in my case, it comes to 5 hours, 20 minutes, something like that. So it's fair that what I'm trying to do, it comes within the 16 hours mark. That means for the next 16 hours, I should be in jhana. Okay, that's the first thing I need to do before I do anything. This is a daily affair till it becomes a habit. It's not that you to make it a ritual. I shouldn't make it as a ritual. But I need to make sure that when I'm doing jhana, first jhana, and meditating in the second jhana, I need to bring the urgency. That means I should not have pamada. So to create the urgency, I need to know the udaya is 18 hours for me and 6 hours is attangama. That means sunset, right? So it's called tamo. There's a sutta called Tamo Tama Sutta. So if somebody doesn't know what it is, please go and understand. Tamo means darkness. Okay, so the darkness arises when you sleep. So in the Jagariyana Yoga, Buddha says, don't sleep. Keep on walking. Keep on doing sitting. And vihara, stay in that state and sleep only for 2 hours. But since I can't do 2 hours, and hence I've taken whatever freshness I get is 5 hours. 4 to maximum 6 hours is my sleep pattern. Okay. So you set your sleep time. First step, mandatory. Once it becomes a habit, it does by itself. So you don't have to necessarily do any ritualistic thing like this. Now, the second thing before I begin is to know why am I following the Buddha? Okay, that's a thing. To check whether there are any hindrances, any kind of breaking of sila which has happened, which means I'm not in my jhana either, right? It shouldn't be. So it gives me an opportunity to verify whether I'm in jhana or not. How do I know it? Very simple. I did my sitting meditation for 1 hour or whatever that hour. Then I get up. If the worldly thing starts coming, it's gone. It shouldn't come. No worldly thing should come at all. Because the vivicheva kamehi, that means the secluded from sensual, has happened, and vivicheva akusala dhammehi, that means the five hindrances are not there. If that doesn't happen, I will get worldly thoughts. Can be sight or sound, taste, touch, smell, whatever, but all related to the world. It doesn't matter whether I continue sitting. I'm actually drowsy. So it creates thina mida. So this is another sutta where Buddha says don't sit for long because it produces thina mida. So chankama is the right attitude, not sitting. But anyway, now people have changed it because they have exceeded what Buddha says, maybe, or they become Buddha. So they sit and only sit and fine, no problem. But what Buddha says is the other way around. So be a smart person and choose wisely. So basically, you should sit, but not over sit. You should walk, not over walk. You should stand, but not overstand. You should sleep, but not oversleep. This is exactly what it is. Some people follow Dutanga, which is basically Kasapa when he took over the after Gautama Buddha was not there. He developed Dutanga, and Thai tradition majorly follows this, especially Ajahn Mun. So in that practice, it's about standing and eating frugal. Even the Buddha talks the other way around. You shouldn't be doing it, and then they follow this tradition, which is fine. There's absolutely nothing to stop. But anything in extreme is going to be detrimental to samadhi. This you keep it. When I say don't sit, then I take this extreme view that I need to always walk. Because then that's an extreme point of view. Now, I feel, yes, shouldn't be sitting, so I should be always walking. No, that's not true either. It should be all the four postures. Iriya. Okay, I'm just giving you all of this just to know whether you're following Buddha or not. Okay. And the sooner you come out of traditions or some conceptualization, the better. So these are the some things which I need to find out for myself. And when I found out for myself, and then the last part I need to do this is that am I rational in my thinking, or am I doing it because somebody says me to do so? If I am rational, it works. If I am doing it for somebody else, it won't work. Second step is to find whether I have belief or I have faith. If I have belief that it works, it's not going to work. If I have faith, it's going to work. Faith means I already have experience. Okay. And then, am I traditional or am I not traditional? If you are traditional, this will not work. If you are non traditional, it will work. Okay. And the fourth one is what Buddha says, Adi Sila. That's a must. It's not just Sila, Adi Sila. That means I worked on 10 immoral deeds, especially abhijja and vyapada. These two things. Okay. Whether I'm using satipatthana or whatever I'm using, it is abhijjado manasam. That has to be given up. If those two goes away, the four verbal thing, vitakka vicara, which I'll be covering next, will go away. That is musavada, pisunavacha, parusavacha, sampapalapa. These four will automatically go away if abhijja and vyapada goes away. So my objective is to remove these two immoral deeds, basically. The remaining things will fall in place except for brahmacharya. So that I need to decide whether I want to lead a family life or I want to not come in this womb existence. If my intention is not to come into the womb existence, then I need to do celibacy or be a celibate, because sexual fantasy or sexual interest will cause the mind to take the womb existence. So my objective is not to take womb existence. I have to cut out the genitalia or genetics of gender of woman and man completely. Okay. That's the practice I need to do. That's one extra step I need to take if my intention is to not come into the human existence. So I need to make that pledge or that determination that indeed I don't want to be reborn as a human. Now, the steps are there in MN 120. So you can follow the exact steps, what he says there, if you wish, and you can be reborn in these places. Please understand that. You need to always have the rebirth consciousness with that. Okay, from now onwards, if I were to do like that, the rebirth consciousness is on that. So, what did I do? I removed the traditions, I removed everything that is associated with conditions, and I've removed the world itself, right? Because it brings back the rebirth consciousness into that. Then I have removed the akusala. That's what I'm supposed to be working. So that becomes adhisila. Having five precepts is sila. It's just a normal sila, which will give you rebirth in human. If my intention is to be born as a sotapanna or a sotapanna continuation, either in the deva realm or in the human realm, it's fine. That's my end goal. Perfect. If my intention is to go beyond it, then I need to do something more. So I need to check this in my mind before beginning. Okay, this is a second step, what I'm talking about. Okay. Third one, that I've come from Abhassara. This shouldn't be missed at all. Okay, that's the place of my beginning of time. This I need to keep it. So the second jhana takes me to Abhassara, and that's exactly what I want to do today. Then I come to the next portion where I check once whether this sila is working or not. Which means in the DN2, he explains what exactly you need to have. This is a critical step, so don't skip it. You exactly need to see this, whether you have achieved this before you enter into the second jhana. Because the first jhana, you can somehow force fit it. Second jhana cannot be force fitted because the vitakka vicara will go away. Okay. And vitakka vicara is vachi sankhara. Okay. And without the vitakka vichara going off, you can't enter into second jhana. And that creates Tunibhava. noble silence. Okay, it's not noble silence as in not speaking to someone. That's like, I don't know, lower than a kindergarten, basically. It's not even kindergarten level because you don't have self discipline. So you've been told don't talk, and then you want to talk, and you're conflicting between I want to talk, but I can't talk. So then you're vitakka vicara on two sides. One you want to talk, another one you don't want to talk. And now that conflicting is what exactly vitakka vicara is. So basically, you need to know, or I need to know, that there is no room for vitakka vichara. The sankhara is done. So the first thing which goes away is vachi sankhara, then kaya sankhara, then mano sankhara. So these three sankharas. So first samatha that's going to happen when I'm starting on the second jhana is vitakka vichara is completely given up. There's no vitakka vichara. In its place, it's avitakka vichara. Okay, so there's nothing that's being done. So one last time before I move away, I'm looking at so evam pabbajito samano patimukka samvara samvutto viharati achara gochara sampanno anumatteshu vajjesu bhayadasavi samadaya sikkati sikkapadesu काय कम्म वची कम्मेन समन्नागतो कुशलेन परिशुद्धा जीवो शील संपन्नो इंद्रियेषु गुप्तद्वारो सति संपज्जन्येन समन्नागतो संतुष्टो इति. So this exactly I need to have. This whatever I read, I'm going to explain to you, so don't have to get perplexed. But this step is a critical step for second jhana. Skipping this step is like you will never be in second jhana. You can just imagine you're going to be in second jhana. It's there in DN2, Samanya Palasutta, and can basically. So, first thing is that am I an anagarika or not? I need to check. Because in my case, I am not a recluse. He's saying pabbajita va. That means I am not a pabbajika. So, samano, I am a samana, but not a pabbajita. Okay. I'm a samana. Okay. What does that mean? I'm putting my own effort. And that's the reason I threw out everything else. So, no traditions, nothing, except for Buddha, nothing, absolute nothing. If even a trace is there, you can't enter into jhanas. Second jhana. You have to throw out all conceptual forms. You throw it out, get into the Buddha teaching, and see for yourself how it should be accomplished. Okay. Now I see whether I'm an anagarika. First step in this. Okay. Now, what I do is that having thus gone forth, have I gone forth or have stayed there? In the family, staying in the family, have I gone forth? Have I understood jati, jara, marana? Or have I worked out on the reflection, which we spoke about some days ago? That is jara, vyadhi, marana, then losing the loved ones, then kamma as your only refuge. Have you done that pachavekkana completely? Okay. And having done so, now it's time for me to see I'm a samana. If I'm a samana, then I can be with the family. Absolutely no problem. Staying with them is not the concern. Wearing the dress is not a concern because I know everyone has to wear a cloth. Everyone has to eat. everyone requires a room to stay, and everyone requires medicine. These are the four Pachavekkana to come out of Asava. Okay, it shouldn't matter to me whether I have taken an orange robe or a red robe or a t shirt. It doesn't really matter. It's not running away from the family, it's about letting go of the family. There's a huge difference between running away from the family and letting go of the family. In fact, you can do both. Meaning, if you feel that you want to be a pabbajika or a bhikkhu, you can do so. And in this, he doesn't use the word bhikkhu. There's a purpose for that. Especially Samanya Pala Sutta is because every person who comes into the Buddha Dhamma is a bhikkhu. It's not just the colored robes one. You are as much as a bhikkhu as the colored robes one. So there is no special, there is no difference between you and them. There's nothing like that. It's Dhamma which matters, not the color of the robe or is a shaven head or some stupid thing that is there. It's no difference. In Buddha Dhamma, there is no up and down, there is no top and bottom. It's all the same. Everyone is the same. It's completely non hierarchical, non class structure. There's no hierarchy. Hierarchy is defined by the accomplishment only. It's not meant by whatever dresses we are going to wear or where you're staying. Nothing like that. Okay. So here you could see he uses the word pabbajika samana. Since I am not from a different tradition and I have accepted Buddha as my teacher, I come as samana. Okay. Now, being a samana, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to see whether I have left household life, possession, identity, and social duty and come into homelessness, which includes simplicity, training, and release. That's exactly what I'm looking at. I can be with my wife. Fair deal. Absolutely fair deal. But I don't have a wife. I have a human being staying with me. So I don't have any conceptual connection of wife. But she's my wife from a worldly standpoint, just like some abbot in a monastery, and I'm samanera. It's just a designation. There's absolutely nothing like that. I can't treat myself as samanera because it's just a designation. And reason is Indriya Samvara teaches removing designation and descriptions. Just remove that. It's not required. You're not that designations. Just leave it. The husband is a designation, wife is a designation. You've been designated. Just like you've been designated as a senior software engineer, that doesn't mean that you're a senior software engineer. It's not true. In the same way, I need to let go of this identity, right? So I become anagarika. I've lost identity in the mind, not physically. Not if somebody asks me, are you Vilas? I can't say, I don't know. No, it's fine. So that portion I have done, right? I've clearly seen it for myself. That's a fact. And having been an anagarika, so then patimokha samvara samyukto. Now, in my case, I have taken akusala dhamma. So I don't have to go by 227 or 231, sorry, patimokha rules of a bhikkhu. For me, abhijja domanasa is sufficient. That will give me Hiri and Ottappa. That's sufficient for me. So in every act I'm doing, I'm checking that. So samvara is to guard, to restrain. So now what I do is, he says here, viharati stays, achara gochara sampanno. Achara means how one behaves. I said the 18 hours, right? Don't forget that. In 18 hours, how am I behaving? So first you remember what I said, make it 18, 16, 10, whatever it is, between your sleep time. So how should I behave in 18 hours? My behavior is more important than the traditions. So I threw out the traditions into the dustbin because they don't come into any purpose now. I threw out all the labels, Thai tradition and this tradition and that tradition, out, out, everything out, all empty, empty from the mind. Remove it. They are required for kindergarten. Done, done with it. It's required, absolutely. But it's for kindergarten. I've moved out of kindergarten, so I don't carry those books any longer. In the same way, I don't require this any longer. Throw it out. Now, when I throw it out, it becomes lighter. So my achara, behavior, changes. I'm no longer constrictive, restrictive. I can now broaden my mindset. I don't feel disturbed by different viewpoint, by different people. I can accommodate. That's fair. Because I want to be in Abhassara. I don't want to be in these things. No, not at all. So constrictive means I'm coming down. Expansive means I'm going up. So I can't restrict myself like that. Right? So I do that. Gochara, it means we have spoken this for a long time. So where the senses are moving. So gochara, achara, gochara, sampanno, one who knows behavior and also where the senses are running. Okay, which means where do I go? What am I watching? With whom am I associating with? What are the conversation am I entering? What places stimulate raga, dvesha, moha? I'll give you certain examples. Now, yesterday, sorry, some few days back, there was election in India, in Kerala and Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. So everybody is hooked onto this election because what happens in Kerala and West Bengal was the key element. So, and Tamil Nadu, one of the key thing is that whether the ruling party will be vanquished completely, because I don't want it. I don't stand it. I have got nothing to do with it. If that doesn't work, then I'll watch about Trump. Let's say I'm this kind of a person. Then I can't do jhana because now the Kamachanda Vyapada has taken over. So Gochara is I'm seeing whether I am interested in watching whether LDF1 or UDF1 or that one or who happened, what happened to BJP, have they got some seats in Kerala or in West Bengal or in wherever non-BJP run states, and then either I'm going to like them if I'm from a fan of BJP, or if I'm against BJP, I start getting Vyapada, which clearly shows that no jhana is possible. Because my 18 hours is going to go in this unnecessary, unmindful way of living. So, achara, gochara, sampanno. So now I see where things are going. Anumatteshu vajjesu bhayadasavi. This is the extremely critical point in this. So I'm seeing danger in even the slightest fault. Anu, atom, very small, not big ones. Bhayadasavi. I fear. Why? Abhassara is not possible. Between the election results and Abhassara, I've compromised Abhassara for these stupid results. That means I want to reside here. I don't want to reside there. I want to reside here. That means the mind is being pulled away by the results. Okay. The same thing can happen with family, but I'm just giving you something out of context family, but still I can get pulled by it. So, in that state, even if I want to get into jhana, it will not happen. And hence, I start to believe that Buddha didn't teach jhana, it's only vipassana, which many of these traditions promote because they don't know how to get there. So, and that's not their agenda either, because that's beyond sotapanna. So then you create a chula sotapanna and some sotapanna and keep on making these arrangements saying that you become sotapanna itself is big enough. And that's it. And the person also feels, yeah, everybody's saying that. I think that's all what it is. So this becomes a hindrance. And that's it. Then I can't go forward. So I need to see whether am I doing a careless look, a harsh word, a small indulgence, like I just now said about the video on Tamil Nadu and Kerala and all of that, a small lie, a small pride, a small delicacy food, just a small, little one. I don't want a big one, little one. No, that's the reason. Having a goal is most important. Don't work without a goal. Your goal should be Abhassara. Remember that. If you're just working for the sake of working, mind cannot take it. Why? Because you require dopamine. Otherwise, you can't function. Dopamine is a reward chemical, and you require reward for every step. If you don't get anything out of this, there's no way you can condition the mind to do this. The brain will bring it back to the sympathetic nervous system, and that's it. You require many chemicals. Out of that, GABA is one chemical which calms the senses completely. Okay. And serotonin is required because it changes the mood from the worldly conventional mood to an unconventional, unworldly mood. It changes the direct mode network. So it creates new neural pathway. For that, you require oxytocin, which never gets produced because it has to inhibit pain. It has let go of the pain, mental and physical pain. So that doesn't happen. And oxytocin doesn't get produced at all. So you're deprived of everything. You means there's no you, it's a brain. So the brain will just bring it back to sympathetic nervous system. Basically, boredom sets in. When sympathetic nervous system comes into existence, it produces cortisol hormone, stress hormone. So you get stressed out and then you want a break. And that's it. Okay. So no matter whether you take cushion or no cushion, that's not a thing here. This tradition, that tradition is again cortisol related. It's all sympathetic nervous system related. I'm gone beyond that. So I'm unrestricted, purely focused on expansion, not contraction. So then the dopamine secretion should be normalized, shouldn't be dependent on any substance, right? So just like saying you sit for 1 hour and you feel happy. So the 1 hour is connected to happiness. The dopamine gets released either after 1 hour or when happiness is reached, as indicated, either of them earlier happening. It means 1 hour happens, so you get dopamine, or you get happiness, then you get dopamine. Now, what happens in that scenario? Somebody does 2 hours sitting, abhijja starts. Oh, he's able to sit for 2 hours, I'm sitting only for 1 hour. So the comparison brings in vyapada. So now I'm in vyapada. When I'm vyapada, it directly interferes and brings back sympathetic nervous system. So instead of rest and digest, it's flight and fight. So you start fighting with your body as though it's going to listen to you and make you sit for 2 hours. And somebody sits for 4 hours. Then I want to sit for 4 hours and 8 hours and this hour and that hour. So all these are competitive things which brings in more and more cortisol and nothing to do with the hormone what is required to get peace. So just be aware. No comparison, no competition, no compulsion. If somebody wants to sit, let he or she sit. It's not my business to interfere at all. That's it. What works for me, it works for me. What works for him, let it work. No interference. Because I want to be in Abhassara. I don't want to be in these smaller things like, he's sitting, I'm not sitting. He's standing, I can't stand. He's walking, I can't walk. Nothing. So I need to see this. Bhayada savi. Even for the smallest of the fault. Okay. And then samadhaya sikkati sikkhapadesu. That means now I have taken the training rules properly, which means eating becomes a training, walking becomes a training, standing becomes a training, sitting becomes a training, sleeping becomes a training, bathing becomes a training. Every posture becomes a training, which is sati sampajanya, which we are going to be covering next. So kaya kamma vachi kammena samannagato kusalena. Now I am in kusala for kaya and vachi. So next step, it automatically cuts vachi sankhar, which is avitakka, avichar. So my ajiva is parisuddha anyway because I'm not doing anything strangely, and the indriya samvara has already happened. So he says, then indriya gutta dvare. So I've done that earlier on. So nothing. I need to check once whether that's happened. So the sense restraint has happened. So the last step is sati sampajanyena samannagato. So now I have reached sati sampajanya with indriya gutta dvara and not having anything now. It cuts vitakka, vicara. Done. Now this is the step I need to follow. How do I verify this step? Is through satipatthana. Now I just sit or stand or walk or lie down. Doesn't matter which posture. So sato vasasati, yes, tick. Sato vapasasati, the sati is there in and out breath, yes. Dhiga, noted, yes. Rasa, small, short, noted, yes. Sabbakaya pati samvedi. Are you able to label and see the entire body breathing? It means body is namakaya, naming that as a body is a namakaya, and the patavi apo tejo vayo is a rupakaya. So you're able to see both of them? Yes, tick it. Then the fourth one, pasambayankaya sankharan. Have you calmed down the body? Yes. How? By observing the breath going in, coming out. The body concept is removed. Good. Tick. So 4 steps of Satipatthana done, or Anapanasati done. Yes. So you did the first part of Satipatthana. Yes. Known it for yourself. Yes. Tick it. The whole box is done. Come to the second box. Vedana. Piti pati samvedi asasisameti sikkati. Have you learned how to get the piti? Yes, through this I got the piti. Good. Can you verify back and see whether all of these steps have been done? Yes, I did it before starting. I indeed am in this. So it's done. Sure. Yes, pretty sure. Tick it. Now, today I just want to be in piti. Can I be in piti? Yes. Don't do further. Don't have to get into sukha patisamvedi. Then I don't have to get into chitta sankhara patisamvedi. Then I don't have to get into pasambhayang chitta sankharan asasisamiti sikkati, like that. I don't have to do that. These 2 steps, I don't have to do it today. Or rather 3 steps. Piti, chitta sankhara, chitta patisamvedi. I don't have to do it. That I'll do it later. So 4 and 5. 5 steps of Anapanasati. Now, determine how many days you want to do, how you want to stay in this state. Determine now. Do the nimitta. Have you ever entered into the second jhana earlier? Yes. How many days did you stay? I don't remember. Okay. Now, since you don't know, set for a day that you want to remain in this state for 1 full day, which means 18 hours. Now, I don't have 18 hours left for sleep. So it's, if I'm sleeping at 9:30, it's 12 hours only, right? Considering this moment as well. So roughly 10 hours. Good. Try. After 10 hours, it dips. 5 things should happen. You shouldn't put pressure. You shouldn't practice again. You shouldn't be sitting in a cushion. You should be doing all the activities, normal activities, office, work, home, whatever. And then you should be able to watch the breath on one side and the activities on the other side as a witness. If that has happened, you know you are in piti. It doesn't go. And then dawns one important aspect, which is Tunibhava, noble silence. Then you know the noble silence, what we were doing, is not noble silence. It's far from truth. That was silence, not noble. It was not Arya, it was Anarya. Why? Because you have to do something about it. anything out of force is anarya because it has vyapada in it and it has abhicca. Arya doesn't have abhicca and vyapada. So 2 out of 5 hindrances, Visikiccha will not be there because you have seen it for yourself. So that brings in only 2 of the hindrances. And since you're watchful, Thinamida will not be there. That leads with only 1. And since your sila is so strong, Kukucha is not there. That leads with only 1. Udacha. That remains till Arhat. Okay, so don't get worked up. I shouldn't get worked up if I have got a little bit of restlessness of going into the next state. It's fine, but I have to bring it back. Okay, that's going to be there. The restlessness is going to be there because the 5 higher fetters, out of the 5 higher fetters, one of the sanyojana or the higher fetter is udacha, and that will not go. It doesn't matter. Even if I'm an anagami, it doesn't matter. It doesn't go. So to accept that I have restlessness. But the other hindrances are completely vanquished. They're totally not there. And hence, I follow the Buddha. And I've seen for myself, I only follow the Buddha, nobody else. Somebody can be giving me sugar drink. Sorry, I'll make my own drink. I don't require bottled drinks. Sorry. And everything in this market is bottled drinks. No, come out of it. So this practice, if I do, I'm in jhana. Now, that doesn't mean that the bottled drinks are not good. They are pretty good, but they have limitations. And Buddha Dhamma doesn't have limitation. It's expansive, not constrictive. Okay, and I don't have to believe in anything. I don't have to rely on anything. I have to rely on myself, not on anything or any person. If I have to rely on some person, it's not Dhamma. It's still a condition. So that's what we are going to do today. So once I'm done here, I'm going to rush there and make these people get into Anapana. So this is the steps. This is what I need to see for myself. So first set that sleep cycle. You have only 18 hours in your life, Udaya, and the remaining hours is Attangama, not yours. It's sunset. So you don't live for 24 hours. You live for 18, 16, or 14 hours only. The remaining hours are not yours. So what best you can make out of in this 14 hours or 16 hours or 18 hours or even 20 hours. Let's say you sleep only for 4 hours is fair. It's fine. Absolutely fine. But make that. Keep that. You don't have 24 hours. Please. None of us have 24 hours. Theoretically, we have 24 hours, but the remaining 8 hours, 6 hours is not there. It's not yours. Because you don't exist. What's the point in saying that? And if I have an afternoon nap, that hour is also gone. So where do I have? I don't have it. So first, take care of your sleep cycle, understand, and then commit. And don't forget this adisila. And then what you just now did is adichitta. In fact, there's a sutta which Buddha explains. What's my dhamma? Only 3. Adisila, adichitta, adipanya. And this is exactly what the sila I need to follow, not the 5 precepts somebody gives and then somebody takes, and then I keep on saying, that is not sila. That is like, going to a school, not even school, kindergarten school, and then I'm taught something. That's not all sila. That's a, I don't know what to say there. This is a sila. Anumattesu bhayadassami. Not even smallest. Because I came from Abhassara. You understand? And this is not my home at all. It's not I'm convinced. I know that's the fact. So I do that. Now, for those people who don't know they're from Abhassara, how do they come to know? They have to go by what Buddha says for this portion. But they have to practice the sila, removing the 10 immoral deeds, abhijja, vyapada, michchaditti. When they remove it, they can see a drastic change. And it will show you up that you are not from this place at all. And then the fight is gone, because you will come to see nobody ever can claim I am so and so, because none of them are real. So what's the point? So I just give up. So for that, you need to do a 3 months, 6 months, 1 year only on sila. This adi sila, higher ethics. And that's called adi, higher. 5 precept is lower. It's the most rudimentary, elementary thing to be done, because you will be reborn as human. But I am not interested in that. I want to go back to my home. And my home is Abhassara. Nothing less than that. I don't buy into the heavenly existences at all. They're filled with pain. So for me, my working, Abhassara. And the second jhana. And then I've seen for myself, it is Tunibhava. Silence. Mind is silent. There's no vitakka vicara. What else will it do? Silence. Right? And that's the basic thing. Avitakka, avichara. Go and see the sutta where Moggallana explains so beautifully what is Tunibhava, noble silence. The noble silence, what is written on that Dhamma hall, is not a noble silence. It is ignoble silence. It's silence. It's forced silence. You want to talk, but you just can't express it. So you just shut your mouth and sit. There's mental fight going on, but you just tolerate it. That's not. Anything by force will create vyapada, and anything you suppress create abhijja. If you've not removed these two enemies, no progress is ever possible. And on top of that, we do some retreats on on Satipatthana. I strangely don't understand what is this all about, because it clearly says abhijja domanasam. Kaye kayanupassi viharati atapi sampajano satima vinaya loke abhijja domanasam. I strangely don't get it. Maybe I might be wrong or somebody might be right. I've been asking these people who have come, they have done Satipatthana courses and they're clueless. I don't know. Anyway, so basically, I need to do this in exact sequence to get there. Any questions for me? Otherwise, I will rush there. Good. No questions. Great. No comments. Even more better. Okay. Still have 3 minutes left. Okay. If you don't have something, you don't have to invent something. It's fine. So let's let me then put this video and then I'll go there and explain the practice. And we sit and practice. So it's all the four postures. Dr. Rai, I think you are here in the call. When I come there, it's in all the postures, not just one single posture.
So thank you very much, sir, for me. It's a turning point for our life in Dhamma. So from what part is thanks to you, it's the thank you very small but for you. You really so much better. You really open the door to me many years. So thank you very much once again, sir. From up.
Your voice is breaking. Maybe the network is bad, and then yeah, maybe you
network is very big.
Yeah.
So, sir, thank you very much. Thank you very much what you are teaching us. In many years of we started on 30th of April and we learned a lot and we are getting a lot of peace and real Dhamma we are now testing, I can tell you, sir. Because I think everybody should do one course with you because only then they can understand the real Dhamma. So we are lucky we get a chance to do to learn from you, sir. So I'm really thankful for all your help and support to learn the Dhamma. Thank you very much, sir.
Always welcome. Okay, I'll come there in next 15-20 minutes and we start our thing. Or maybe half
Thank
an
you
hour.
very much.
Yeah, maybe within half an hour I should be there. After I finish this video, I'll come there.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sure. All right. Any comments before we close? It's already 9:30. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good day, good night, and good afternoon, and good evening to May. May is in the evening. So. Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you, Vilasji. Have a
Thank you.
good night. Bye bye.
Thank you.